afternoon from Yankee Stadium. The Boston Red Sox take on the Yankees in Game 2 of the weekend series. Last night, the fireworks exploded in the ninth inning. David Ortiz and John Farrell ejected, and the Sox would fall 3-2 in Game 1. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Bronx. Dave O'Brien, delighted to be joined by Steve Lyons, Garen Austin with us as well. And while the home plate umpire, Ron Kopa, was in the center of all the fire yesterday in the ninth inning as the Red Sox lost a very, very tough one-run decision. But I'll tell you this, Steve, the Red Sox have to quickly bounce back because they've got a ballgame to play in a matter of minutes.
And they can do that. That's the type of team they are. You know, some of the frustration from last evening was brought on themselves. They had chances to score all night, and then in the ninth inning, the officiating went south on them. That's a tough pitch on a 3-1 count to one of the greatest clutch hitters in all of baseball. Manager John Farrell didn't like it. He comes out, has a discussion. He gets kicked out of the ball game, just protecting his player. And then the next pitch, I'm sorry, I don't complain about umpiring all that often, but that is not a strike. You cannot call that a strike in that situation. And then David gets really crazy, and he gets kicked out of the ball game. He's going to come out and get his money's worth after the ejection. But this was a very frustrating night last night for a lot of reasons.
Had it been ball 4, the game would have been tied there in the ninth inning. Certainly looked like, as John Farrell said, you needed a hockey stick to hit that one. So it's David Price on the mound today. He is 14-7 lifetime against the Yankees. The cold hard facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. 6th start this season. He is 4-0, 8-2 in 16 games lifetime here at Yankee Stadium.
You know, Price's velocity's been down a little bit. They always say it takes him a little while to get going, but guess what? It's May now. His velocity will be there. You've got the ace of the staff on a first-place team playing in Yankee Stadium. I don't think it gets any better than that today.
All right, the Red Sox, certainly some anger boiling over from yesterday. Look to take it out on the New York Yankees behind David Price. The first pitch from Yankee Stadium is right around the corner. Blue sky and some sunshine has appeared over Yankee Stadium in the last hour or so. I think that's what that is.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of that.
We have not, but getting ready for game number 2, the Red Sox and the Yankees, and our national anthem. Well, they're expecting a big crowd here at Yankee Stadium, of course, for the Sox and the Yankees. A little sizzle added to the rivalry last night, even though the focus was so much on the home plate umpire. But the Red Sox, yeah, smiles on their faces today, but I think a steely determination underneath to go out and beat up on the New York Yankees. There's Ron Culpo, moves from behind home plate to, I think, safer ground at third base here for game 2.
Not necessarily. He's still right in front of that Red Sox dugout. He might be hearing some cat calls every once in a while.
The time of the Red Sox lineup now. It's brought to you by BuyAToyota.com. Toyota's website for deals. It'll be Mookie Betts to lead it off, then Dustin Pedroia and Xander Bogaerts. David Ortiz, the DH. He homered last night to tie Carl Yastrzemski. Hanley Ramirez at first, Travis Shaw at third. It'll be Brock Holt in left, Jackie Bradley in center field. And Christian Vasquez is doing the catching. Up against the right-hander Nathan Eovaldi. He's 1-2 with a 5.46 ERA, one of the hardest throwers in Major League Baseball.
When he's right, he's outstanding. Let's check out the defense brought to you by DraftKings. Headley back in the lineup at third base. Gregarious, Castro, Teixeira rounds out the rest of the infield. Gardner's in left. Hicks makes another start in center field. Had some trouble there yesterday. Dustin Ackley in right field. And there's the battery you just talked about. Romine behind the plate. Eovaldi will be your pitcher.
Today's umpire is brought to you by ToyotaCertified.com. Chris Conroy behind the plate. Gabe Morales at first. Jerry Meals, the crew chief, at second. And Ron Culpa, as mentioned, at third base. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your TV remote. SAP presented by ToyotaCertified.com. Search for your factory-backed Toyota certified used vehicle right now. It's good to know the factory has your back. And our forecast for today, as mentioned, a little bit of sunshine, 55 degrees, generally cloudy. Supposed to rain later on tonight after midnight. Well clear of the ball game. Mookie Betts is in and we're set to go. Goes after the first pitch and floats one down the right field line. No one will catch that. The Sox did remain in a first place tie with Baltimore despite last night's very frustrating defeat as the Orioles were postponed in their game. They're taking on Oakland. They're underway now in the first inning at Camden Yards. Liner up the middle. Castro can't make the play, and it's a base hit.
This ball gets in on Betts a little bit, but good hitters get jammed, and he just takes it right back up the middle. It's a good sign for Mookie Betts, who has struggled a little bit lately. You get his bat going, and you get his legs on the bases.
Sends up Dustin Pedroia, who has good numbers against Eovaldi. He is 5 for 9 with a home run against the right-hander. Mookie Betts with 7 stolen bases on at first.
Nathan Eovaldi is the toughest pitcher in the major leagues to steal a base off of. He's only yielded 11 stolen bases in his career in 19 attempts.
Quick to the plate. So it happens when you average 96.7 miles an hour.
When you're quick and your fastball's quick, that's a good combo.
A called strike. Mookie Betts getting his lead there. One can certainly debate the decision to bunt with Mookie last night in the top of the 7th inning after Vasquez had led off with a double. Sox were down 3-2. But if Mookie does not pop it up to the catcher and the play works, the Red Sox have a runner at third with 1 out, and Pedroia and Bogaerts coming up.
Right. I know you were in favor of the bunt. I would have let him hit. And I think only because it's Mookie Betts, if I bring the top of my order up there, I have 3 chances to drive in that run from second base instead of 2 chances from third.
I think you could debate that all night. A 1-1, a trickler foul. In the 6th inning, the Red Sox loaded the bases with 1 out but did not score. In the 8th inning, 2 on, 2 out, did not score. And in the 9th, bases loaded, 1 out, didn't score, largely due to a dubious strike zone. I think we all agree with that.
Yeah. And I think the point that we both made with the bunt attempt by Mookie, the only way it's wrong is if you mess it up, and that's what happened. Neither one. If you drop the bunt down, you can debate whether it's a good play to do that or not, but you can't debate whether it actually happened, and he didn't get it done.
Line foul out of play by Pedroia. Bogaerts on deck.
I would completely agree with your thinking of bunting if I was at the back half of the order. If it was Vasquez that came up, or someone that you think, all right, we're gonna sacrifice an out here to get that guy to third. I want that guy right there swinging the bat.
1 ball and 2 strikes on Pedroia, hitting .317 with 4 home runs. Pop foul back out of play again.
And I am very much enjoying disagreeing with you occasionally. Which doesn't mean I'm right.
Right back at you. That's what baseball's all about.
Sure.
Differing opinions, I think.
We need a couple of cool frosty beverages here while we're doing this.
Be breaking all sorts of FCC rules in the process. And back in on the dive, Mookie Betts. The toughest loss of the season, certainly for the Red Sox last night, no question.
Most emotional, no question about that. I mean, it's a game they knew they had a bunch of chances to win. They left a ton of guys on base.
Scooped up by Romine. It was fascinating listening to some of the comments by Ron Kulpa. As we mentioned in a postgame presser with a Pool reporter, he talked about the David Ortiz at bat. He said the 3-1 pitch, I had it coming through the zone. That's why I called it a strike. He said McCann didn't help me out. He took the ball down a little bit, so he put some of the blame on the Yankee catcher, which I thought was fascinating. But he said it was still through the zone. And he said the 3-2 pitch, I had it in the zone right down the middle, without mentioning that it was probably 5 inches low.
Yeah. I think both of those statements that he made are absolutely correct. I think the 3-1 pitch probably was a strike. It was nasty, and McCann boxed it. I talked to McCann after the game, or actually this morning, and he said that he messed that up. He crossed himself up. He called for a slider, but thought he was getting a fastball. That's why he almost didn't catch it at all, and it looked bad.
The 3-2, ground ball to short. Gregorius to Castro, out there, on the first, and out there. Double play. 6-4-3, so the base is now empty.
Well, here's a play with the old rules. Mookie Betts would have taken this guy out at second base so nice, there's no way he would have been able to turn it over. Now you're afraid to do that. You can't even break up a double play anymore. Look how deep he is in there on Castro. He would have been able to take his legs out from under him. Now it's an easy double play. The game has changed so much. That's what that play is designed to do. Make sure that he can't make that throw to first base. Now it's just an easy double play.
Inside on Xander Bogaerts. I want to go back to something you just said. You're not saying you agreed with the 3-2 pitch being a strike.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to get there. I think what he said, he believes is true.
Right to Gregorius. We'll pick this up as the Yankees come to bat, but that's a fast inning. The Red Sox bring up only 3 men to hit, and with scoreless going to the bottom of the first here in game 2. Was brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Brett Gardner leads it off. Aaron Hicks, who homered last night. He'll be followed by Starlin Castro, Mark Teixeira, Carlos Beltran, Dustin Ackley, and Chase Headley. Gregorius, the shortstop, and Romine doing the catching. The Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your New England Audi dealers. David Price is 4-0. His one-loss record with an ERA of 6. Not something you see every day.
That'll come down.
The Red Sox hoping it starts today in a ballpark he's been very, very successful in. Gardner to lead things off, 250 with a couple of home runs. An outstanding bunter. Now back to the thought on strike 3 on David Ortiz. You weren't indicating you agreed with the umpire.
Right. I can agree that maybe the 3-1 pitch could have been called a strike. It looked ugly the way McCann caught it, but it was a pretty nasty pitch. The 3-2 pitch was right down the middle, just like Culpa said, but it was about 5 inches off the ground. It wasn't a strike. It was where he said it was, but I can throw a pitch right over the plate too, right over your head. That doesn't mean it's a strike.
Right. John Farrell, of course, ejected, then came back on to try and keep David Ortiz from getting in any further trouble. So there'll probably be a heavy fine there.
Now here's that pitch again to David Ortiz. Is it over the middle of the plate? Yeah, I think it is. But look at pitch tracks right there. The pitch zone. It's not even close to being where pitch zone says it's a strike. I think it was just a rough day for that guy right there. I think he is a good umpire. Had a bad day.
He had a very tough night. Swung on and missed for strike 3, and down goes Gardner, who has a lot of trouble with Price. He's now 6 for 32 against him.
All right, let's talk about the Red Sox defense, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Shaw at third, Bogey at short, Pedroia over at second, Ramirez at first base. That's the usual lineup, and there they are in the outfield. Nothing gets past those guys. Holt, Bradley Jr., and Betts. The ace of the staff, David Price, on the mound today with Vasquez doing the catching.
A star for the Yankees last night was certainly Aaron Hicks with that home run to lead off the 7th inning, and that was the difference in the game.
There's another frustrating aspect of last night's game. Aaron Hicks was 3 for 33 before that swing. He came up looking to ambush a first pitch fastball late in the game. Porcello gave it to him.
Porcello taking his first loss 2016. Pitched well. Hicks hitting just 114 with that one home run. Fouled back out of play. And another thought about Mookie Betts in the bunt. Sometimes players bunt on their own. It's not always from the manager.
Especially if you're a guy like Mookie who's used to getting a lot of hits, but that can be one of your weapons. Bunting for a base hit or giving yourself up to move a runner along. You can make that decision. You just got to try to get it done if that happens.
0-2 popped up. Foul out of play. And he did bunt on his own. Lay it down, and no one's talking about it later.
Yeah.
That's the simple fact.
Yeah, and that was kind of the debate we had. You say, would you bunt here? Would you not bunt here? If you bunt and get the job done and the guy ends up on third base, you can debate whether or not you wanted to do it. But if the job gets done, it's done right.
Castro on deck. No score here in the first inning. Roll toward third base. Over the back. Fair ball. Off balance throw and dug out, but safe at first base is Hicks. A one hopper did not get there in time. So it'll be a base hit for Hicks.
And we talked about Hicks's attributes. One of them is his speed. You see Shaw kind of throw off the other foot because he knows Hicks can get down the line. That was still pretty close, and a nice pick by Hanley. Just beat it out. Hicks doesn't get that much playing time with the other guys on this team. Carlos Beltran, Ellsbury, both those guys out of the lineup. Hicks can really run, and he's got a great arm.
Here's Castro. He's one of the few Yankees who has hit consistently. He leads the team with 30 hits. Hitting .294. And outside with the off-speed pitch. Price has been quite fortunate to be 4-0 at this point. Had that no decision against Tampa Bay, in which he allowed 8 earned runs. Got the win against the Yankees last Sunday night, giving up 6 runs in 7 innings.
Perfect.
Should be a double play ball. On to Pedroia. Double play. He's out of the inning. 6-4-3. After 1, no score at Yankee Stadium. David Ortiz, the Lion in winter, getting his first at bat of the day after last night's fireworks. And a home run last night, of course. And Hall of Fame votes in the stands for Big Papi as he takes ball 1. Last night, a home run, number 452, with the Red Sox to tie Carl Yastrzemski for the 2nd most in Red Sox history. And he fouls one out of play. So he has 7 for the season. David, as upset as I have ever seen him last night when he was called out by Culpa on 2 pitches.
When you're the premier clutch hitter in the game of baseball, you don't mind 1 or 2 bad pitches. You don't want strike 3 taken away from you.
With the bases loaded, when a walk, which you've earned, ties the game.
And a base hit gives you a chance to win it. Most hitters won't complain too much early in the count. It's strike 3 is when they feel like you just took the bat out of my hands.
1-2 on the way, and that's in there for strike 3. No argument here, right down the middle. So 1 man gone in the 2nd.
Most of the time when David takes a called 3rd strike, he knows it's a strike. I think Evaldi's thinking he got away with one right there too, because that was center.
And Ramirez now. Hanley, it's easy to forget, still had an at bat with the bases loaded in the 9th inning last night and struck out. And he also had a couple of beefs with the home plate umpire.
In his at bat previous to that one, did not like a slider down and away on a 3-2 count that was called strike 3. You and I didn't like it that much either.
Hanley hitting .291. He's hit safely in 10 straight games. And for Hanley, a season-long hitting streak, his longest as a member of the Red Sox. No score, 2nd inning. And the 1-1. And that one got him. Hanley struck by the pitch. He will take his base. Eovaldi running that one inside and got him.
Eovaldi has a history of control issues, and that one just gets Hanley off the hip.
So now Travis Shaw hitting .314 with 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. He has started every single Red Sox game, all 30 of them. He and Mookie Betts are the 2 Red Sox who have done that. Had a good night last night. He was 3 for 4. He just keeps on hitting. And he'll take a strike.
Eovaldi is a guy that can get wild at times. It's been part of his problems, but he doesn't generally hit guys. It's the first time he's hit someone all season long.
Ramirez on at first base, and there's a ground ball softly hit. Castro has one play to first base, and Ramirez is safely down to second with 2 down. MLB.TV Premium is everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams in true high def on over 400 supported devices. Visit MLB.TV for details. RBI opportunity now for Brock Holt, 282 with a couple of home runs. He's driven in 16. Last night he was 1 for 3. And the first one to Brock. He fished that one toward the hole. That's going to squeak through for a base hit. Here comes Ramirez, and he's going to score without a throw from Gardner. 1-0 Boston. Brock Holt just muscled it through there. He found an opening on the infield, and the Red Sox have the lead.
Brock Holt now tied with many others on this team for second place in RBIs. Just inside outs that ball. Remember we talked last night. His idea at the plate is to try to hit the ball over the shortstop's head. Sometimes he just has to dribble it past the shortstop. That's a hit, an RBI. Well, you trust him so much when there are guys on base if he happens to be the next hitter.
We mentioned this before. Since the All-Star break last year, he's 3rd in the majors with runners in scoring position, hitting .405. He now has a 6-game hitting streak. Here's Jackie Bradley.
Some hitters, when there are guys out there to drive in, put the pressure on themselves. Some hitters make sure they put the pressure on the pitcher.
Jackie hitting .276 with 2 home runs. And he has a 12-game hitting streak, the longest of his career, after going 1 for 4 last night. The 0-2 from Eovaldi. Cut on and missed. Down he goes. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. But the Red Sox are on the scoreboard and have a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the second.
In a quick injury update, Joe Kelly pitched for 3 innings with Pawtucket yesterday. John Farrell called it an encouraging first step in the rehab process. He said he maintained his stuff for about 52 pitches, and they'll hope to bump him up to about 80 pitches when he starts again on Wednesday. Also, Eduardo Rodriguez will start for Pawtucket tomorrow, in which could be his final start in his rehab assignment. And guys, Farrell did not name a starter for Tuesday's game, but he said Sean O'Sullivan is a candidate.
All right, Karen, thank you very much. I saw some of the highlights of Joe Kelly. He looked very sharp in that outing for the Paw Sox. That one is down and away, a ball on Teixeira, underway in the bottom of the second. The Red Sox in the lead 1-0. It's been great to see Eduardo around the ball club, too.
Yeah.
You remember how dazzling he can be. Teixeira, Beltran, and Ackley. That's 4, 5, and 6 against David Price here. The 2-1.
Don't think that just because Sean O'Sullivan is here and eligible to be the guy who starts on Tuesday, don't think they won't use him out of the pen today. They will for 1 inning if they need him, because this is his throw side day anyway. So if they need him for an inning, they can do that, and he can come back if they determine that he's going to be the guy on Tuesday.
Softly hit, charging it Shaw. He'll have time, and he gets it. 1 man gone. Hey, Monday at 6:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU. Steve will be in studio at TC to break down the Red Sox rotation for the upcoming homestand. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you?
Rem Dog will be back in the booth. I'll be hanging out in the studio.
You're Mr. Versatile.
Still a utility guy.
Beltran takes one in tight. He's a .242 hitter with 4 home runs, 0 for 3 last night, and he's been chilly with the bat, 6 for his last 34. High fly, center field, but no carry on that one. Jackie Bradley there. It's going to be very interesting to see if David Price's velocity starts to move up a little bit in these starts in May.
Yeah, generally it does, but I think even if it doesn't, that guy is such a master with location, and he can get away with less velocity as long as he's pinpoint.
Carl Willis is one to say the Red Sox are not concerned about the fact that he's been thrown around 92, 93. As Ackley hops in, and he takes up high ball 1. That's at 92.
Because they say that's been his history. It takes him about a month, 6, 7 starts to start getting the extra velo.
Is that what the kids are saying now? Extra velo?
The velo. They don't complete any sentences or any words, right? Short for velocity.
But you don't have to go down that path. You can complete your sentences like a grown man.
I'm talking to a lot of kids. They got to understand what's going on here.
Talking like a kid. A 1-1 inside. Some would say you are.
Have you spent any time with me?
You know what? Now that you mention it, on this last road trip,
it's been a good time, though, right?
Oh, yeah. You are a good time. No question. Ackley hitting just 125, and that just barely missed, according to Conroy.
Do you have mixed feelings when you look at what we just saw out of Teixeira and Beltran? Teixeira is a shell of himself right now. And obviously, as you look at that pitch right there from Price, I don't really want to see him get hot against the Red Sox, but boy, he's been a better player in his career than what we're seeing out of him now.
Popped up, looper toward left. Here comes Brock Holt. He has it. He makes the catch, lurching forward, and he hangs on. 1, 2, 3 they go here in the second inning. Red Sox on top, 1-0, headed to the third. To be the official dairy of the Boston Red Sox, serving New England communities for 170 years. Third inning, 1-0. Red Sox have the lead. Nice play there by Brock Holtz, as Ackley's little pop-up did not fall in. Christian Vasquez leads off the third with an 8-game hitting streak.
This is a nice play by Brock. It's not really a diving catch. He knows he has to lunge to catch it, and now he just wants to brace himself by letting his momentum take himself right through the play. Yeah, it was a good play. Good job.
Strike two.
You always know that Hanley knows where the camera is.
He certainly does this year.
Yeah. The camera likes to follow him.
Vasquez hitting .234, be followed by Mookie Betts and Dustin Pedroia. Red Sox ahead 1-0 on Brock Holt's RBI single.
Hanley came here last year. One of the things that I had said about him, spent a lot of time with him when he was with the Dodger organization. When he's smiling, the team's winning.
He's also hit safely in 10 consecutive games. The 1-2 to Vasquez. High and tight. DraftKings is the official one-day fantasy baseball partner of the Red Sox. Experience the thrill of playing on DraftKings now. Play free daily using the promo code NESSON at DraftKings.com. The 2-2, and he bounced it. Red Sox facing right-hander Nathan Eovaldi today. He's out of Houston, Texas. He went 14-3 for the Yankees last year in 27 starts, and was the hardest throwing starter in the American League.
He rushes it up there, and you talk to a lot of the guys around the Yankees. They said they really thought he was competing to be one of the best pitchers in the league last year before he injured himself.
Right side ground ball to Castro. One man out. Red Sox season ticket holders, you can experience the best seats, price, and benefits Fenway has to offer. For information on becoming a season ticket holder, please visit redsox.com/season tickets or call 877-RED SOX 9 today.
I love the way Mookie Betts takes his practice swings. Most guys will like really swing the bat pretty much as if they were going to try to hit the ball. He does his in slow motion.
Like underwater swings.
Yeah, Aquaman. Until there's a pitch he wants to hit. There's Mookie. This is real time. Well, I guess not.
Did we really have to slow that down?
Yeah, we slowed down the slow motion.
Super slow-mo.
See that? Just nice and easy. Just kind of getting it loose. This is a guy who has no problem unleashing a vicious hack when he sees a pitch he likes.
He has a base hit, 1 for 1. We'll see if that gets him going. He had been just 2 for 16 on the road trip. I think it's one of the reasons he was looking to bunt last night.
I think you and I have talked about him, you know, maybe not utilizing the bunt enough for a guy that runs as well as he does. But he's been so good at driving the ball into the gap. Sometimes a good hitter will feel like they give up an at-bat if they are unsuccessful on a bunt. They're like, oh, why did I do that?
He can get so hot as Pedroia waits on deck, and we've seen it a couple of times this season. I mean, he just goes off on these great runs. A fly ball into left center. Hicks, and here comes the left fielder, and Gardner will make that catch. Hicks with another late start. Well, it's been a challenge since he replaced Ellsbury in yesterday's game after Jacoby came up with the lame hip.
Yeah, Hicks probably would not. Watch Hicks in the center of the screen there. Look, he's going the wrong way. Now he realizes he got a bad jump and took about 5 steps on a bad route, and Gardner had to come in and make that play. I'm not so sure Hicks would have got there.
Bailed him out. So 2 down for Dustin Pedroia. Get into a 6-4-3 double play in the first inning. Hitting .315. Red Sox ahead 1-0 in the third. He's always hit the Yankees well. 302 lifetime in 133 games with 10 home runs. That misses to make it 1-1. Xander Bogaerts would be next. Ground ball, he got jammed. The third baseman Headley hoovers that up and gets him. That's a quiet third as the Red Sox go 1-2-3, 1-0 Boston in the third inning. Last half of the third inning, we welcome you back to Yankee Stadium. Red Sox in front 1-0. We're happy to be joined by Alex Spear of the Boston Globe, for whom our door is always open and is again here at Yankee Stadium. Alex, great to see you again as Chase Headley leads things off. And all the talk in the Red Sox clubhouse today, and you and I were chatting about it down there, was about the umpiring last night, as that one is lying to right field and will drop in for a base hit. The Headley is on. 74 at bats this season. He does not have an extra base hit. That's kind of amazing. But everything about the umpire, can you talk a little bit about how umpires are graded every night and where maybe Compa has fit in over the course of his career?
Sure. Well, as many people know, Quest Tech was introduced late in the 1990s. It spread around baseball in the early part of this century, and
in the early part of the century.
I know, isn't it crazy?
It's history.
Yeah, we're well into the 21st century now. But it's used as a nightly evaluating tool. So in New York, every game is reviewed using Quest Tech technology, and it's important to remember that the plate isn't two-dimensional.
One attempt. Price will get to this one. They'll go to first base. The low ball. Nice dig by Hanley Ramirez, and Headley is safely down to second.
The plate is a prism. It's judged as a pentagon by the technology, and so you're looking at the plate being from all the way from the front to the back at that back point, and you're looking at the area that expands up from it. So there's now technology in ballparks. There are a few cameras that are positioned so that umpires can be graded about how they're measuring that strike zone very precisely. That technology didn't exist until the late 90s, and so it's allowed Major League Baseball on a game-by-game basis to look at how accurately the umpires are calling the pitches that are actually in the strike zone. The strike zone is adjusted based on batter height, based on a number of variables over the course of the game, but the net result is you're able to establish this consistent strike zone as opposed to a moving strike zone that varied from umpire to umpire.
Romine here, and he fouls that one away for strike one.
That was an amazing description, and now I understand why I couldn't hit. I mean, I didn't view it as a prism or anything like that. I just thought, home plate for us when I was a kid was like a paper plate or somebody's sweater that they weren't wearing. We just threw it on the ground and said, throw it over this.
It becomes a lot more complicated. Well, think about it this way. You could have technically a pitch that comes in the strike zone. Let's say you have a hammer of a curveball, Barry Zito flipping one up, and it can cross at the front of the strike zone. It can cross the plate and be a strike if it's at the bottom of the knees, and it can hit the plate and still be technically a called strike. Major League Baseball does not want that pitch to be a called strike. There's no catcher who's framing that as a called strike because they'd have to be diving across the batter in order to get it. But there is a complex and comprehensive evaluation system in place to give umpires feedback on any given performance, and I'm guessing wildly, but Ron Culpa probably didn't fare very well in that evaluation.
Didn't get a good one.
The 0-2 is up and away, and they get it immediately. They get it right after the game.
The next day. The next day they get a review. There are people in Major League Baseball's offices at like 3 in the morning with the computers humming, and they're looking at every borderline pitch that's identified.
And they can be told how many they missed over the course of the night.
They get a percentage score. Typically, umpires grade around 93 to 94% accuracy over the course of a game. They're given the width of a ball as kind of a normal error margin. So if you miss a pitch that's by the width of a ball, that's not going to count against your score. But if you're missing by by more than that, then you're talking about a pitch that's maybe 3 inches or so outside of the strike zone. Then you have to kind of account for that. And they'll tell you specifically you're missing in this area of the strike zone.
What happens if you keep flunking your classes?
That's a great question. They work with the umpires in order to kind of emphasize the areas that they need to get better at. But ultimately, that will play into the assignments that they get. For instance.
But only in postseason, right? I mean, there's no discipline.
None that I'm aware of. None that I'm aware of. I don't think that guys are, for instance, it's not as if they're going to stop getting home plate assignments, even if they are grading a little bit lower. That said, there's some interesting things in Major League Baseball about the umpires that grade really, really well. Some of those guys aren't the most popular umpires because the accurate interpretation of the strike zone.
2-2 liner toward the alley, and that's going to find a home on the grass. Get right by Jackie Bradley. The run is in. Headley will score, and that ties the game with a double by the number 9 hitter, Austin Romine. That's his second RBI of the season.
Seems like in a lot of the starts so far this season for David Price, it's the back half of the order guys that are giving him some problems. That's a pretty hittable fastball out over the middle of the plate. Austin Romine, not known as an offensive threat, drills that into the gap and drives in a run.
Price has been talking a lot about how he's failed to just work down in the strike zone. His misses have been up in a place where they aren't ground balls. They end up being pitches that are driven into the gaps, and so that seems to be a problem that's continuing into certainly that at-bat against Romine.
So tied 1-1. Gardner, the hitter, he's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. As we chat with Alex Spear of the Boston Globe about the controversy of last night's strike zone.
And so what I was saying was that umpires, oftentimes the ones who grade as having the most rule book accurate strike zone, are among the least popular because, for instance, those might be guys who are a little bit more aggressive at the top of the strike zone.
Yep.
And hitters do not want to see pitches that are called at the very top of the strike zone. That's getting into that whole prism aspect of it. If you have a pitch that crosses the strike zone at the back of the plate, you're talking about a pitch that finishes up almost letter high being a called strike, and that is something that hitters really have not been trained to hit. So umpiring is complex. Umpiring has gotten consistently better according to the grades over the time of the Questek era, but you do have games that are where umpires are just not calling the strike zone accurately still. A number that was floated around in the Red Sox clubhouse was the suggestion from one report that there had been 31 or 33 missed pitches.
Yeah, I heard that. The number 31 I had heard as well from somewhere. Where it came from, I'm not sure.
Well, and Alex, I'm glad you brought that up, that the umpiring is consistently better, because we need to take a step back from the discussion. This last night was a tough game for the Red Sox. I've always been of the opinion that an umpire will never beat you. My father taught me that when I was 11 years old. He said if you don't win a game, it's your fault. It's not the umpires. He may not help you at times. And I'm also of the opinion that the Major League umpires, even though replay has really exposed a lot of issues, are the absolute best at what they do. They are amazing at making calls, and they're right most of the time, and it's such a tough job.
It is a really tough job, and it's subject to far greater scrutiny than it ever has been, because it's not just that Questec exists in order to evaluate them. Now there's publicly available data that permits us almost in real time to see pitch by pitch. Well, certainly this broadcast is a great example of it.
In tight for a ball on Gardner, and the count goes full.
So umpires are being evaluated and judged about their accuracy in real time, and we have the benefit of not having to be the ones tracking the pitches. We're just seeing, you know, in
the result of it.
Yeah, exactly. We're seeing this nice, convenient little rectangle, and drawing our own conclusions about whether that's accurate. And look, the technology that we have on TV broadcasts is spectacular, but even that isn't a fair representation of the strike zone at all times, because it doesn't account for the changing size of hitters.
Right. Pedroia backs up with a good hop. He'll throw out Gardner, and down to third base is Romine with 2 down.
Does our pitch zone rectangle on the side of the screen, does that represent the prism that you're talking about as well?
Typically it does not. Typically that is at a fixed point. I can't say this DraftKings zone whether or not that uses the 3-dimensional technology. My guess is that it only uses the kind of flat front surface of the batter's box, and it probably also doesn't adjust based on the height of a hitter. I was talking to Dustin Pedroia about this. His strike zone varies about a foot off the ground from David Ortiz's, and yet the technology that's often used doesn't account for that, at least in terms of broadcasts.
I know the umpires don't like these boxes. They don't like them regardless of who's doing them in there for a called strike, but at times they can expose if an umpire is having a bad night. And last night ours was pretty darn accurate if that 31 misses is truthful about Ron Kumpel last night, because we knew from the get-go he was having a bad night, and I mean the first inning. And
you can tell a lot based on the consistency of batter reactions. Batters tell you everything.
Sure.
And the fact that there were gripes all over the place, and it just seemed, you know, you could see it in almost everyone in the game. Vazquez and Porcello trying to work to get on the same page as they were trying to figure out exactly where they could work to in order to be able to get strikes. That said, Copa, I believe, grades fairly consistently as more or less a middle-of-the-road accuracy umpire.
Right.
I think that the thing that ultimately the Red Sox took even greater umbrage about was not necessarily that he had a bad night behind the plate, but there's some question about whether or not he almost baited David Ortiz after he called him out on strikes in that huge at-bat.
There is some question about that?
Meaning that
I would say there's no question about that.
Fair. I was being, I guess, a little bit more diplomatic, but yeah, I think that, you know, David Ortiz was willing to take that called strikeout, and go back to the dugout, even though that's one of the last opportunities he's ever going to have to change a game in the 9th inning in Yankee Stadium in his life. And there was that sense that Copa was kind of looking at him. There was a question of maybe he smirked at him a little bit, and as a result of that, you saw you saw the fuse go off.
The 1-2 here to Hicks, the runner at third base.
I remember for a few years, a number of years ago, where they came out with the overhead camera, where they'd shoot straight down on it, and I was kind of against that, because I felt like there's a lot of new innovations in the game, but I felt like that was solely to try to expose bad calls, and I'm like, why are we going there? Why are we trying to make a problem where there isn't one generally? And that camera angle wasn't very true, because they had to put it up here on the, you know, it wasn't hanging straight over home plate. It was up on the roof somewhere. So sometimes these innovations can really make it more difficult on the umpires and other people to do their jobs.
But accountability is great. There's value to the idea that people are held up to a very high standard of performance. And again, it's made umpiring better. Right, they've responded to this challenge.
It has.
They're competitive with their scores, with their accuracy scores within crews.
And review has made them better on the bases, I think, as well. They're required to do things like hang in there longer on a tag play, for example, in order to make that call. You know, Ron Kumpel's been a pretty good umpire in his career. He just picked a lousy time to have a bad night.
As David Ortiz said, it's a very visible stage.
Yes. 3 balls, 2 strikes here on Hicks. He singled in the first inning, runner at third base, and a run in for the Yankees in the third. And the 3-2 from the lefty. And That one's sock foul. As you say, everything is open to interpretation in baseball. We were talking about the bunt play earlier, the decision for Mookie Betts to drop down a bunt last night.
Sure.
He popped that up, and whether that's a great idea, whether it's not, my opinion comes down to whether he executes it, and then it's a non-issue.
It speaks. The thing to me that it's most telling about is where his confidence is, because Mookie Betts, if he's feeling good in the batter's box, he's going to take his shot.
High fly ball twisting to left, but Brock Holt is underneath. And that will retire the side. Thanks very much for being with us. It was a fascinating discussion on umpiring.
See you guys. I didn't understand a word, but it was great.
Your diet to the latest cancer treatments. Learn all about stomach disease this month from experts at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center. Visit bidmc.org/yourhealth. Some great Sox fans here in New York City to take in the rivalry here, the middle game of the series. And Xander Bogaerts will lead things off. He is 0 for 1 with a ground at a short. As we're underway here in the fourth inning, tied 1-1.
We've talked so much about how Xander Bogaerts grew up with Derek Jeter being his idol. He wears number 2 because of him, and he swings a whole lot like him. Inside out, Derek Jeter was the most relentless inside out hitter I ever saw in my life. Xander cheats a little more often, will try to pull the ball. Jeter almost never did. Look at the similarities. Look at the strength of Bogaerts through that opposite field swing. Jeter still felt here.
Right by everyone to the backstop to make it 1 ball and 2 strikes. David Ortiz on deck, and then Hanley Ramirez.
1-1 here. Obviously, when you look at the lineup and the roster for the Yankees right now, they're playing a little bit short. Els is hurt, but he's not. Ellsbury not on the DL, but hurt. McCann's out of the lineup. If you look at Betances and Miller, they're both unavailable late in the game today.
Gregorius digs it and fires to get him for the out. A couple of times Andrews hit it right at him. Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And David Ortiz 0 for 1, struck out looking on a fastball in the second inning. Last night hit his 50th career home run against the Yankees.
wouldn't get too comfortable thinking that you could throw that same fastball by David again.
Fouled away for strike one. David very composed in the clubhouse today and very calmly talking about what went down last night. Looked like he had pretty much put it behind him, or was in the process of doing that. Eovaldi with the 0-1 and hammer to the right side, but into that shift. And Headley will throw him out. That's a 5-3, 2 up and 2 down. Tomorrow at 6, don't miss the Ultimate Red Sox Show presented by AAA. We take a look back at Big Papi's farewell celebration in Chicago. You'll also hear from Dave Dombrowski. That and more tomorrow night at 6 on NESN. Two down. Hanley Ramirez the batter. He was hit by a pitch in the second inning and eventually came in to score, so he got some payback. Brock Holt driving him in. We're in a 1-1 tie in the fourth. Roller foul for strike one.
Yeah, I think it should be said too about David and the way he reacted this morning too. He's embarrassed about what happened. That's not his legacy as far as a baseball player, having those kind of blow-ups. I think it's embarrassing to the organization to have that type of thing happen in a ball game. We all know that it can, but it's not the reputation of the Red Sox or the one they want.
It shows you, however, he is not going out quietly in this final year. The fire still burns very, very strong in David Ortiz, even though it's his last year as a big leaguer.
If he throws the uniform on, the competitive juices are flowing. He's going to come back in an old timers game and want to hit the ball out of the yard.
Yeah. He's not easing into retirement. 0-2 pitch outside. Hanley trying to make it an 11-game hitting streak against Eovaldi.
Look at those numbers right there. After the first time through the order, numbers start to jump up. Obviously, we are in the second time through the order here.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think you start to figure him out, and when he can't throw his breaking ball for a strike, then you start sitting on that 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and guys can hit it. He has done an excellent job today, though, getting ahead quickly. Then when you have to worry about that breaking ball, even if it's out of the strike zone, it makes it much more difficult to hit.
Hanley's hit him well, 6 for 16 with a home run. And the 2-2. Off the outside at 100 miles an hour.
This is the pitch that Hanley's looking for. Something away, a fastball away, but that one's off the plate. We've seen over the last 10 days how he's handled that fastball away. Hits it out of the ballpark.
Softly hit on the charge. Headley barehanded throw and offline and up the line. Hanley taking off for second base. No throw there, so he'll be safe. Headley went for the bare hand off balance throw and he flung it up the line. That'll be a single and an error.
Headley does a good job of grabbing it, but now he's still running away from his target when he lets it go, and this inning is nowhere close. It's just flat out a tough play to make for a third baseman. One of your thoughts has to be, hey, let me just stick this in my back pocket.
So a man at second, 2 down, tied 1-1, and Travis Shaw presented with an opportunity. He's 0 for 1 with a ground ball to second. Hanley went into second base a little bit gimpy in there for a strike and grimacing somewhat.
Well, remember last year, every time he ran, we thought something was going to be wrong with him. Told me he dropped about 15 pounds from last year to this year. A lot of what that is, Dave, too, is when you run as fast as you can straight down the line, and then you see an overthrow, and you have to kind of stop and change direction and go to second. We saw the same thing with Ellsbury last night, and he hurt his hip. He was running straight into third base, and when the ball got away,
Line foul.
he thought he might have to score, and so he had to really change directions quickly, and it doesn't always go well.
Smiling now as he chats up the crew chief, Jerry Meals. One and two on Travis with 17 RBIs. Cut on and missed on another big fastball, and down he goes, strike three. So the Sox strand a man. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 1-1 our score. To the biggest games, check out the official Red Sox ticket resale marketplace. That's RedSoxReplay.com, the best place for season ticket holders to sell their seats when they can't make it to the game. On to the last half of the fourth inning. Starlin Castro will lead things off here against David Price. We're tied up 1-1. And hammered for a base hit. He just keeps on hitting. He has been their best offensive player. Did hit into a double play his first time up. He's 1 for 2.
I got to tell you, too, that the approach they're taking is probably the same approach I would take. Go up there looking for an early fastball and hit it.
Now, Price is one of the guys that Mark Teixeira has long had a lot of problems with. Coming into the game, 14 for 67 against Price. It's a .209 average. And he's 0 for 1 today with a grounded to third. He drops in strike one at 91 on the black.
Teixeira has been such a wonderful player over the years. He has not looked good this season.
One ball and one strike. Price career-wise against the Yankees, 14-7. He's won 6 in a row here at Yankee Stadium with an ERA of 2.01. Overall, he's made 18 starts in this ballpark, and he's 8-2. High fly to right into the corner. Betts heading into foul ground, but that's off into the stands. Tuesday is David Price bobblehead night at Fenway. The first 15,000 in attendance receive a David Price bobblehead. courtesy of Nikon. For tickets and more information, visit redsox.com/promos or call 877 Red Sox 9. And there it is with Astro.
You didn't just know Astro had to be in the bobblehead.
They did a very cute commercial right in front of the Green Monster, which has been airing nationally. And in it, David throws something, and Astro's supposed to go and get it, but he stays right at his feet. He never leaves. That's the commercial edited version because it's a cute story that way. Like, I'm just going to stay with my master. But David said, he told me, every time he threw it, Astro got up and ran like crazy for it. And then they had to encourage him to stay. So they just edited it differently.
Well, Astro could stand to lose a few pounds. So, you know, it's a good little run for him.
You're right. I don't want to say anything.
I don't know why they didn't do the bobblehead with Astro's tongue hanging out, because it usually is.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Teixeira. With Castro on at first. And a 1-1 tie.
Teixeira with 9 seasons with 30+ home runs. Castro, a good first to third guy, speed wise.
Teixeira bouncing back last year when a lot of people thought he was done.
And they're starting to say the same thing again.
2-2. It just missed to fill up the count. He hasn't walked anybody yet. Price wanted that one.
A few 3-2 counts for Price early on now. Price is going to want to throw a strike, but I would assume he'd try to get the strike on the outer half. He wants Teixeira to roll over, hit a 2-hopper to bogey at short.
He's had that happen once. That was when Castro was batting the first inning. He bounced into a double play. Here comes the 3-2 to the switch hitter. Ground ball to third, diving, knocked down by Shaw. Everybody's going to be safe as it's collected by Bogarts. That'll be a base hit for Teixeira. And a near miss for Travis Shaw at third base.
Well, that looked like what they were trying to do, but Price missed location. Look, they're trying to go outer half, get him to roll over it, but look, this goes out over the middle of the plate. It allows him to pull the ball just a little bit more and get it between the shortstop and the third baseman instead of to one of them. Shaw makes the dive. They just can't hang on to it. Base hit. It's amazing in this game, David, how a matter of just like 2 inches makes a difference. If that's 2 inches farther to the outer half of the plate, he does exactly what he's trying to do. Instead, it ends up a base hit.
So some trouble here. The DH Beltran next. He's 0 for 1 with a fly to center field. Yankees with 2 on and nobody out in a tie game. First pitch in there for strike 1.
You may have to pitch Beltran a little differently. I think later in his career, Beltran is a much better hitter going the other way. He likes to drive the ball to the opposite field gap.
Castro and Teixeira leading away. The 1-strike pitch. Strike 2. And now Beltran with a bit of an argument for Conroy. Not thrilled with that call. Dustin Ackley on deck for the Yankees. And now here comes Vasquez out to talk this over. Ace Ticket is Boston's trusted source for Red Sox tickets with the best seats at the lowest prices, all with a 200% guarantee. Treat yourself or someone special by visiting aceticket.com or by calling 1-800-MY-SEATS.
Here's why the change in Beltran is important. When you try to get Teixeira to roll over on a pitch away from him to try to get a double play, you're not necessarily going to do the same thing to Beltran because he may take that pitch and drive it the other way.
He's just 6 for 25 against Price lifetime. In tight, 1-2.
another guy who's been a fantastic player over his career.
Yes, some would say a borderline Hall of Famer with the numbers he's put up.
He could do it all.
1-2. Swung on and missed. He got him. Sharp breaking ball to put him away. And that is the first strikeout of the game for David Price.
See him going down and in hard with the breaking ball instead of trying to go away from Beltran. Two different hitters, two different ways to try to get them out to do what you want with them.
His first strikeout since the first inning, he did get Gardner. So that'll bring up Ackley, who's 0 for 1 with a fly to left. Started the evening hitting .125 in the afternoon. No homers and 1 run batted in. Runners on at first and second, so a double play ball here would get him out of it. And it is outside for ball 1. Red Sox, after this series ends on Sunday night, will be home for a good long spell. They have a series coming up with the Oakland A's starting Monday, followed by the Houston Astros again, and that'll be a 4-game series. Luke foul out of play. Then the Red Sox go on the road for just 3 games to Kansas City and then back home for another homestand.
Got to dominate at home. Got to make Fenway a good place to play.
Look at the road ahead, presented by People's United Bank. Red Sox for the 3rd consecutive week on Sunday Night Baseball. And the 1-1 to Ackley. Laced foul down the left field line.
The Yankees have 2 players in their lineup today where their fathers played in the Red Sox organization. Dustin Ackley was a minor league catcher with the Red Sox. I played with him 1 season way back in 1981. And Austin Romine, the catcher in the game, Kevin Romine, was an outfielder who did make it to the big leagues with the Red Sox in the mid-'80s.
The 1-2. Even now on Ackley. The inning started with a Castro base hit and a Teixeira base hit on the infield. Beltran going down on strikes. Vasquez back out to the hill.
It's almost hard to recognize Dustin Ackley. He spent his last few years with the Mariners. Kind of a surprise move that the Yankees picked him up. But he's always had that big beard for so long. Nobody knew what he looked like. No beards with the Yankees.
Price with a 2-2 pitch.
Oh,
he wanted that one too, and Conroy said no, and it looked like it picked up the corner.
that's a good looking pitch. That is a nasty 2-strike pitch. Oh, way better pitch than the one to David last night.
Three balls, 2 strikes.
Now you really have to come back with a quality pitch right here.
Price really slowing down his tempo with men on base. And he walked it, and the bases are loaded. So he has walked his first man. They're all filled up for Chase Headley. Well, don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. TC and Jim Rice break down tonight's game, and you'll hear from David Price and John Farrell. Whatever, whenever, wherever, who but WB Mason.
There are just too many mound visits for me. We've seen Vasquez out there talking to Price about 3 or 4 times already in this game. We're only in the 4th inning.
Headley has a base hit. He has scored their only run. So he has good numbers against Price. He is 10 for 23 against the Sox lefty.
Look at the season numbers.
Only 1 out and a strike. Two doubles in those 23 at bats and a triple. And realizing he does not have an extra base hit this season in 74 at bats. Here's the 0-1. Little trickler foul. So Price jumps in front, 0-2.
In 2012, when Headley was with San Diego and he had that monster season, 31 home runs, 115 RBIs to lead the American League in RBIs. The Yankees picked him up and expected more of the same. And this year, not a single extra base hit. But you know it's in there somewhere out of this guy.
Bases loaded, 1 down. We're tied up 1-1. Castro on at third, Teixeira at second, Ackley at first for the Yankees. Price with just a couple of strikeouts could really use another one right here. And a 1-2 to Chase Headley. 2-2.
Now you got to rethink your game plan. The 0-2 pitch was a purpose pitch, threw it up just to show it. Then he wanted to come back with the breaking ball. He was looking for a swing and miss there. Now he has to figure out how he wants to get him out.
Three grand slams in the career of Chase Headley. High pop right field, not deep, coming on Betts. Castro will not tag and try and score as the throw comes in, and there are 2 down. They froze him right there at third base, and 2 away.
There are not many arms in the Red Sox outfield that you can challenge, and not on a short fly ball to right. Quality pitch in on the hands of Headley. Still isn't able to get those hands out, can't get the bat head out, and here comes Mookie. Get behind it, short quick throw, make sure it's able to be cut off, and hold everybody right where they are.
Mookie made a strong throw to home plate, cut down a runner. A stronger play by Hannigan in Chicago to keep that runner from scoring at the dish. Well, here comes Gregorius. He has dropped down a bunt in this one. 2 down, bases loaded. Price trying to get out of this inning in a 1-1 tie. A wave and a miss.
Nice. This will be some clutch pitching to the back half of the order to get out of a jam here. Good breaking ball out in front.
A Yankee at every base. The 0-1. Grounded foul. So once again, Price out in front of a hitter, 0-2.
And again, I think his game plan, and I'm not exactly sure, but watching what we're seeing up here, you show him something inside, and now you're going to get him out away. Get him thinking you might come in there in his kitchen. And now on 0-2, he may see 3 straight breaking balls to the outer half of the plate, probably in the dirt. But that guy will block every one of them.
They lead away at first, second, and third. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Gregorius. Line drive, golfed into right field. Fair ball down into the corner. Castro is in. Teixeira is in. Ackley rounding. Here's the throw to the plate. He will score, and that's a triple to score 3 runs.
It's a huge mistake on a changeup that doesn't get to the location. That's got to be on the ground somewhere. There's no way that ball can be left out over the middle of the plate.
Well, he hooks the extra base hit down into the corner. And the Yankees open up a 4-1 lead.
I believe that was a changeup, and that's generally why Lefties don't throw lefties changeups, because if you leave it out over the middle of the plate, you come right into a left-hander's wheelhouse. They love the ball down and in.
So Gregorius does the damage with the bases loaded. And Price's issues continue, allowing runs. Here's Austin Romine, who has doubled. Now that happening with 2 down. In for a strike.
I don't necessarily have an issue with the pitch call, the changeup. A lot of lefties won't throw their changeup to left-handed hitters. I have more of an issue with location. On 0-2, you just keep going away from Gregorius and let him swing at a bad pitch to strike himself out.
1-1. So Price has allowed 4 earned runs in 3 2/3. Came in with an ERA of 6.14. Check swing, and that's inside. Boy, it's been a long inning. And David Price.
And he's got to end it here. I mean, you still have Gregorius over there at third base. Pick yourself back up, get this guy out, and let the offense do some work.
He has scuffled through a 28-pitch 4th inning so far. And a 2-1 to Romine. And he got a piece of that. You know, Gregorius, a .220 hitter coming into the ball game. And I know you were talking about, you know, inside and then soft stuff maybe away. I think a lot of folks are waiting on, where's 96 miles an hour?
Well, he doesn't have that right now.
Well, I understand that. But when is that coming?
I mean, I think clearly if he did have it, we'd see it. So we're not sure when it's coming.
That might be the hitter to show it if you have it, and obviously he doesn't yet. The 2-2. Now a full count. Gardner on deck. Three and 2 on a 9-hitter Romine, who's already done some damage today with an RBI double. And he golfs that one into right field. Betts will make the catch to retire the side. Price had some issues with the umpire in the inning, but the Yankees are now out in front 4-1. The fifth, 4-1 the Yankees lead. David Price had an extended conversation with Chris Conroy, the home plate umpire, after the inning.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's about this pitch right here, which was a 2-2 pitch to Dustin Ackley, that he was looking for strike 3. He didn't get the call. Ackley ended up walking on the next pitch. I think that's the pitch Price really wanted. That would have made it 2 outs in the inning with just 2 guys on. I think it would have been completely different.
Now Brock Holt will lead off the inning, so the Red Sox have to go to comeback mode here, trailing 4-1. Holt with an RBI base hit in the second inning to produce the only Red Sox run.
You got to give Gregorius a little credit there too. That wasn't a hideous pitch that was belt high, but it was a changeup left about in the middle of the plate. It was down a little bit, but not where Price wanted to throw it on an 0-2 count.
A big hit to score 3 runs. And a 1-1 to Brock Holt. Eovaldi with some wiggle room now here in the middle innings, and it's fouled away. Jackie Bradley on deck, and then Christian Vasquez. Yankees have out hit the Sox 6-3 so far here this afternoon.
Price had a relatively calm conversation with the home plate umpire. There was some chippiness out of the Red Sox dugout. It wasn't so calm.
And Dustin Pedroia was particularly upset.
Conroy was having a little stare down contest with Pedroia after that.
Dustin backing up his pitcher. 2-2 to center field. Lazy fly ball for Hicks, and 1 man gone. This greater coverage of baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Active hitting streaks in Major League Baseball, and Jackie right at the top of the list with 12 in a row. Hanley Ramirez next with 11. Christian Vasquez with 8. Jackie struck out his first time up against Eovaldi. Oakland leading the Orioles 3-0. They're in the 5th inning. There's a high fly ball that is deep to right field. It might go. Ackley backs up and kiss that goodbye. Jackie Bradley with his 3rd home run of the season, and the Red Sox are within 2. It is now 4-2 Yankees. And he extends that hitting streak to 13 straight.
Picture perfect right there on that swing. He just went down and dug it out. We talked about it with Gregorius. Same thing with Jackie Bradley. Lefty down and in. That's your happy house. Look at that swing. Look at the concentration with the head down even after contact. Look at his head. That's beautiful.
Here's Vasquez, 0 for 1 in this one. Speedway proud to be New England's first choice for value and convenience for every Sox homer. Speedway donates $500 to Boston Children's Hospital. Stop by a Speedway store near you and pick up your Speedway rewards card and start earning points today.
Is it any wonder why they generally say right-handed hitters are high ball hitters? You think of a guy like Pedroia, loves the ball up. Lefties are low ball hitters. Boy, you get it down about knee to mid thigh high, inner half of the plate, you're looking for trouble, and we've seen it twice today.
Sox have been a very strong come from behind team. Forced into that again today. The 1-1 broken back ground ball to third, and Henley will throw to get him, and there are 2 away. Stephen Wright on the hill on Sunday Night Baseball, going in with a 1.67 ERA. And the Red Sox home on Monday back at Fenway against the Oakland A's. A's right now with a 13-16 record. They've lost 4 straight, but they are beating the Orioles at the moment 3-0 in the 5th. Mookie Betts is single. He's also flied out to left. By the way, happy 85th birthday to the great Willie Mays. Wow. Who looks great. They numbered a cable car for him, number 24 in San Francisco. He got to ride on that.
What took him so long?
It went a lot slower than he ever ran. Up the hill, down the hill. He's another national treasure. Line shot and a base hit up the middle. Mookie Betts smoking that one. And a good sign here today. That's his second hit, fighting his way out of a mini slump.
You had said in our pregame meeting that, hey, you know, Mookie's struggling a little bit, but he might get 4 hits today.
Nice halfway there.
Yes, he is.
Now Dustin Pedroia, who's hit into a double play and grounded out to third.
Oh, quick note on Willie Mays. When I talked to Ted Williams and I told Ted Williams you were the greatest hitter that ever lived, he said, no, I don't think I was. I said, well, I think a lot of people would say that you are. I said, if not you, who is it? And he first name on his list was Willie Mays.
Five tools in for a call strike. 5 great ones. The 0-1 to Pedroia will not be made as Betts dives back in.
In his prime, when he was playing, Willie Mays, how big was he? Was not a big man.
I want to say, maybe 6 feet.
And that would be pushing it. And I bet he didn't go more than 180. Ridiculous numbers from an average sized guy that played the game.
Two down on the 0-1 to Dustin Pedroia. Foul tipped into the mitt.
It ties into the guy at the plate right there. When you talk about Pedroia, would certainly be considered one of the smaller guys that plays the game, and yet he's an MVP.
Well, we're going to see Jose Altuve when the Astros come in, about 5'6". But another great player. 0-2 swung on and missed. He went fishing for that one, and down he goes for strike 3. Jackie Bradley's home run. The run the Sox get. It is 4-2 New York. Nesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. 4-2 Yankees leading it midway through as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Steve Lyons, Dave O'Brien, Garrett Austin with you here in the Bronx. Fred Gardner leading it off. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out to the second baseman. We looked it up, and Willie Mays 5'10", 170.
Unbelievable.
So you don't have to be 6'5" and 250 to play this game at the highest level. The 0-1 breaking ball, knocked foul.
I think that was always one of the greatest things about this game, is that there was not one specific body type that you had to be in order to play it. And Pedroia is the classic example we talked about before. He's a great player because what's right behind that thing that says Boston on his shirt? Huge heart, tremendous desire.
0-2 is outside. Not to forget there's incredible talent there.
Sure, but I think that it's also, you know, if Dustin Pedroia was 6'3", 220, might not be that good a player. I think the chip on his shoulder, because people have told him his whole life that he was too small and not good enough, is the reason why he's so good.
Got jammed there and fouled back into the screen. It's also an amazing hand-eye coordination, quickness, anticipation, instinct, the ability to barrel up a ball to time it.
We certainly have seen those guys too that are 6'3", 230 with tremendous ability.
2-2 on Gardner.
It's like Giancarlo Stanton, those kind of guys. When you see size and talent come together, wow,
scary. Yankees up here 4-2 in the fifth inning. Poke foul, starting to brighten up a little bit. We did have some sunshine before the game got underway, then it disappeared for a long time.
Hopefully it'll brighten up in the next few innings for the Red Sox bats.
Sox have been held to 5 hits by Eovaldi.
Chip away. Bradley got it going there in the fifth with a home run. Keep it going.
2-2. In there for strike 3. Caught him looking, and he fans Gardner for the second time.
This is about as much velocity as we've seen out of Price right there. That's the fastball up in the zone, but yet still just 92. Good enough to get the strikeout there.
Lexus is making a pledge to strikeout hunger for every K by a Red Sox pitcher. Lexus donates $50 to the Greater Boston Food Bank. Here's Aaron Hicks. He has an infield single. He's also flying to left. He homered last night in the 7th inning. It was his first game-winning hit as a member of the Yankees.
It's only his 4th hit all year. They can't all be game-winning.
He had gone 85 at bats without a home run.
No.
1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, he did exactly what a smart hitter in that situation would do. Porcello had been out there for a long time. He had pitched a great game, wanted to get ahead in the count, and Hicks said, you know what, I'm going to go up there and look for a first pitch fastball and see if I can juice one, and he did it.
The 1-1 from Price, and a bounded foul off to the left.
You know what the kids say about that, right?
What do they say?
It's an ambush fastball. Just going to go up and ambush that first pitch.
Very, very impressed. You have all the kids lingo down.
Well, it's not even the kids. It's those guys. They're all kids. The players.
Well, the kids to us.
Yes.
That's Graybeard's the 1-2 pitch. Made him move his feet. balls, 2 strikes. Price really in need of a fast inning. His previous 2 have not been.
85 pitches now.
And he's gone full on another batter.
The guys that he's gone full count to are guys that generally in his career he would just dispose of them. Back half of the order. Guys like Hicks that aren't hitting very well.
The 3-2. And he walked him. So Hicks is on. Second walk in the last 2 innings issued by Price. Stay tuned for Red Sox Final presented by Plainridge Park Casino. TC and Jim Rice preview tomorrow's series finale against the Yankees. And plus they have a report from Boston College as well. So 1 man out and 1 man on in front of Castro, who has singled and hit into a double play. Now some bright sun. A 4-2 Yankee lead. David Price's ERA has actually gone up a little bit today from 6.14 to 6.37. Castro hammering away. David Price's pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket.
Again, not very pretty. 6 hits, 4 earnings. Very deliberate on the mound. Taking a lot of time between pitches.
Well, that is nothing new for Price. You know, to take 25, 26 seconds in between pitches. In particular with men on, there's this snap toss, but not in time to get Hicks. I think the big question now is after he delivers the pitch. The results have certainly been nowhere near what he anticipated, I'm sure. Even though he is 4-0, he knows he's fortunate to be 4-0.
And I think we all understand in today's game, and even down through time, you know, your win-loss record as a pitcher is not a very good indication of how you've pitched. Better indication of how well your offense has performed when you were pitching.
Of course, he had that spectacular start against the Atlanta Braves in which he struck out 14 on the road.
And even that one started off shaky into about the 4th inning before he really settled in and dominated. You know, I think it is unfair at times, but with the results that we've seen so far, people will begin to start asking questions as to whether or not he's 100% healthy. We have not seen extra velocity out of him. 92 has been the high mark in today's ball game as far as his fastball. And when do people start saying what's wrong with David Price?
2 balls, 2 strikes on Castro. With Hicks the runner at first base. Yankees leading by 2 runs in the 5th. And time is asked for and granted. Castro, one of the few Yankees swinging a pretty good bat, hitting .341 his last 12 games. Price with a real long look in, and now Castro gets another time.
Combination of a left-handed pitcher and Vasquez catching keeps Hicks on first base.
Here's the 2-2. And couldn't get him to chase. That's another full count. That's the 7th time he's gone full on a hitter.
Just not the way he generally goes about his business. He's always had spectacular stuff where he's like, hey, I'm going to get rid of you sooner or later. Strike you out, get you put the ball in play.
3-2 pitch, and it is inside for ball 4. He's walked back-to-back men. On time now for a game break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store, the Boston Red Sox. Here's TC. KTC, thank you very much. Carl Willis on the horn.
Yeah, you got to think they're going to be stirring around down there in the bullpen.
And only the 5th inning. And Mark Teixeira will step in. He has a base hit and he's grounded out to 3rd. Hicks at second base, Castro at first base. Yankees ahead 4-2 with 1 out. Back-to-back walks. And a swing and a miss.
Teixeira comes up in virtually the same situation as we talked about his last at bat. Price needs a ground ball double play. Teixeira trying to make sure that doesn't happen, and you saw first pitch fastball away.
He cuts right through it. 83 miles an hour with a changeup. It is Matt Barnes beginning to throw. Price ahead 0-2 on the now right-hand hitting Teixeira. He gets a piece of it.
I really think the Red Sox offense in these last few innings are going to turn things around against Nathan Eovaldi. They have to make sure they have the opportunity to get back in this game. Just 2 runs down right now with 2 guys on and just 1 out. David Price needs to figure out a way to shut this inning down.
Mark Teixeira hit lefty last night against Porcello and company.
The Red Sox most likely will not see Betances or Miller tonight because Betances has been in 3 games in a row. Miller threw way too many pitches last night.
Loop foul back out of play as Teixeira hangs in there. He does have 3 career home runs against David Price. Price started the inning by striking out Gardner, but then walked Hicks and Castro back to back. He walked Ackley last inning, and he came in to score. Xander Bogaerts will be leading off in the 6th inning. Will be followed by Big Papi and then Hanley Ramirez. 0-2 and just inside. .98 pitches now for the Red Sox left-hander. Here comes the 1-2 to Teixeira. And that's in there for strike 3. Caught the corner, said Chris Conroy. 2nd K in the inning for Price.
Price really wanted the big breaking ball to strike 3. Now he goes back door. That's a generous call right here. This might have been off the plate, but he'll take it. Trying to get through this inning. It may be his last.
Yeah. Here's Beltrán. He has fly to center and struck out. He had 4 base runners last inning, 2 in this one. This is the 100th pitch of his day. Into the dirt for ball 1 and no advance by the runners.
So casually you say no advance by the runners. You know why? Because you're getting used to seeing this. Brilliant defensive work by Vasquez behind the plate to make sure that there's no advance by the runners.
pitch, a cut and a miss. He's gone to that off-speed pitch a lot more in the middle innings, hasn't he?
Yeah. That one was a little scary up in the strike zone.
.101 pitches for the 30-year-old from Tennessee. Now he's ahead again, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Beltran.
And another meeting on the mound. You might see Vasquez come back and not even put any fingers down. I think he says, here's the deal, 1 and 2. What do you want to throw? How do we want to get him out? Vasquez might not even throw some signals down. They already know what they're going to pitch. Last time they got him out with that down and in breaking ball on the back leg. No signs.
The 1-2. All the way down into the dirt, and another block by Vasquez.
Give Beltran a little credit there. That was the pitch that struck him out in his last at bat. They tried it again, and he said, I'm not offering.
Well, just a must hold here for Price, especially given what the Sox have coming up in the 6th. Bogarts, Ortiz, Ramirez. He must keep it tight. 2-2. Golf down the line, and that's going to go all the way into the corner. Hicks is in to score. It bounces away from Holt, and another run is going to come on in. 2-run score, and that'll make it 6-2 Yankees. A 2-run double for Beltran.
Fastball inner half, not enough on it. Beltran's made a living out of hitting that pitch. Took a very awkward bounce down the left field line. I think Brock Holt's going into this corner trying to play it the best way he can, but look at the wicked bounce off of the corner of the wall, and it gets past him.
Tell you what, the numbers are alarming. That's the 4th time in 7 starts that David Price has allowed 5 or more earned runs. And we will take the break. Yankees on top, 6-2 in the bottom of the 5th inning. Nesson is brought to you by BuyAToyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Subaru Retailers of New England, supplying award-winning all-wheel drive vehicles throughout New England. By LL Bean, discovery gear that lasts at LLBean.com. By the 2017 Kia Sportage, visit anykiadealers.com to learn more. By Digital Federal Credit Union, see what DCU can save you. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Well, this one is taking a nasty turn. The Yankees on top now 6-2. David Price knocked out of the game and alone with his thoughts right now after just 4 2/3, giving up 6 earned runs on 7 hits. And that means Matt Barnes has to come on to relieve him very quickly, relatively quickly in the game. And you expected a long outing for Price. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Kia. Barnes coming in 2-1, a 2.45 ERA and 12 appearances. Facing Ackley here, who's flied out and walked and scored. And a high pop-up into shallow center. Pedroia's there along with Bogaerts, and Dustin Pedroia will make the grab to retire the side. But Price is out of the game, and the Red Sox are in a hole here. Today we have coverage of Pete Brady's number being retired by Boston College. Let's hear from the Patriots cornerback Cyrus Jones. Essence Sports Today presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Now back at Yankee Stadium, 6-2. The Yankees, as we go to the 6th inning, Red Sox trailing by 4 runs. And needing to chip away here against Eovaldi. Bogaerts, Ortiz, and Ramirez get their second look at the right-hander. Xander has grounded twice to short.
Red Sox have half a ball game to figure it out here against Eovaldi. Bradley put a run on the board last inning, but seems like it was a week ago with that home run.
Xander 2 for 13 against this right-hander, and he looks at a strike. David Price against Baltimore on April 11th gave up 5 earned runs. Against Tampa Bay on the 21st allowed 8 earned runs. As that one is lined into right field for a base hit. So a start here for the Sox in the 6th inning. Against the Yankees in his last start he gave up 6 earned runs. And 6 earned runs allowed today on 7 hits. Well, here comes Big Papi. David has struck out and grounded out to the third baseman. His next home run moves him into 2nd place on the Red Sox all-time home run list, all by himself. And it would be most welcomed right here.
Yeah. Or a ringing double. Keep the line moving. They need 5 for a lead.
The 1-0 pitch and a strike.
Jeez.
David has hit 4 home runs in his last 7 games.
I don't think David minds being right on that list right next to Yaz.
Not at all.
For a little while anyway.
452 with the Red Sox. 510 overall as he checks again, and it's inside.
Eovaldi has done a great job today for the Yankees. He's hit or miss sometimes. One of the most powerful arms in the game, but very erratic.
Red Sox have hit 15 home runs in the last 12 games. So they've come alive with the long ball. Here's the 2-1. That's what he was thinking right there. 2-2. 98.
Good location on this pitch. Down and away from Big Papi. Couldn't get it.
Two and two. High fly toward left down the line. That's going to slice off into the stands.
Even his foul balls are hitting 340 feet. Good at bats here is what the Red Sox need, one after another.
Jackie Bradley did homer in the 5th inning, his 3rd of the season. Andy Ramirez on deck. Fought off again, still 2-2. David, the center of attention last night in his dust up with home plate umpire Ron Culpa, as the Yankees got away with a 3-2 victory, and now here comes Romine out for a mound visit. Here's David last year getting to 500 home runs, became one of 4 all-time men to hit at least 500 home runs and win 3 World Series. The other 3 are Hall of Famers: Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, and Reggie Jackson.
And David will be following their footsteps.
Here's the 2-2. Now a full count.
You know, that's the other thing. I mean, everybody swings at bad pitches. David does occasionally too, but he has an incredibly good eye, which is what made last night even harder to take. He's not a guy that just goes up there floundering away. He knows the strike zone.
Payoff pitch. Ground ball to first, down for it to Teixeira. The second got one back to first, and the lunge, and he held the bag for the double play. 2 down. Throw a bit up the line, but Teixeira, very good defensive first baseman, hung on to the base.
That is the tough part with David. He's an easy double play victim on any hard hit ball, or any ball that's hit on the ground that's able to be played. There you see Bogaerts trying to break up the double play very cleanly, legally. Such an easy play here to go to second to get the out. Gregorius could have jumped off the bag, got completely out of the way, and still made a throw to get David.
Bases clean now for Hanley Ramirez, who's hit by a pitch and scored. He's also singled. 6-2 Yankees leading in the top of the 6th. That's a strike.
.100 miles an hour.
Right-hander out of Houston, Texas, with an 0-1. Foul tipped into the mitt.
Is every big right-handed hard thrower out of Texas? Seems that way, doesn't it?
It's like they all throw 100.
Yeah.
Last year he had the highest average velocity of any American League starter, 96.7 miles an hour. Grounded to first. Teixeira makes the play, and that's it. That's a fast inning for the Red Sox. They send up 3 men, and that's all. 6-2. The Yankees lead it. Bottom of the 6th inning, Yankees have a 6-2 lead here over the Red Sox as Chase Headley will lead things off against Matt Barnes. And if you're just joining us, David Price knocked out of the game in the 5th inning. 4 2/3, gave up 6 runs, 7 hits. So the bullpen relatively early into the game. Headley in this one, a single and a fly to right. The big damage done by the Yankees has been on a pair of extra base hits, one by Gregorius, a 3-run double in the 4th inning, and then Beltran with a 2-run double in the 5th inning.
2 guys in the lineup that are really struggling for the Yankees have gotten it done.
A ball and a strike on Headley. And it's 1-2, and now Shaw will move over to the right side and change spots with Bogaerts.
We talked about that yesterday, and the reason they do that is because they'll leave Shaw in his third base position as close as that can be, because he fields bunts so well. And if the guy at the plate may drop a bunt down, they leave him there. Once he gets to the point where he has 2 strikes, they switch. They let Bogaerts play short. They let Shaw go over into the shift. It's a lot of moving around, but it makes sense as far as what they're thinking.
This is the bottom third of the Yankee order. Headley, Gregorius, and Romine. And they've been troubled. Slap foul. Attention Red Sox Nation. There's reason why the Sox and the rest of America run on Dunkin'. Dunkin's iced coffee is consistently delicious. Dunkin' Donuts coffee started right here in Boston, and the #1 coffee in New England. The Boston Red Sox run on Dunkin'. The 2-2 to Headley. And right through there. He got him. Strike 3.
Here's a look at what happened with Price and who hurt him. He obviously had trouble up and down the lineup, but an 0-2 changeup to Gregorius with the bases drunk. That cleans everything off. And when he really needed to make it the big pitches when he had to make them, he didn't do it. That's a 3-2 fastball left out over the middle of the plate to Beltran. That scores 2 more.
Here's Gregorius now. He had the big hit in the 4th inning to clean off the bases. But they ruled a double. Could have easily been a triple because he was on his way to third base, but he does get 3 RBIs on it.
Now, Dave, there's a lot of attributes that go along when you start talking about pitchers. The difference between being a #1 guy and an ace. I believe that there are very few aces out there. There's a lot of #1s. You have to have a #1. David Price has always been an ace in his career.
No doubt about that.
I don't think the Red Sox have seen an ace out of him. An ace makes those pitches to get out of those innings. He blows away Gregorius. He gets Beltran in that situation. He stops losing streaks. He keeps winning streaks going. That's what an ace does. An ace is an automatic win for you almost.
1-1 hammered foul. I think there are 2 occasions where he's pitched exceptionally well. Against Toronto, he got a 4-2 win. 7 innings, 9 strikeouts. He allowed 6 hits. Against that lineup, that's a terrific outing. Against any lineup, it's a very good outing. And then, of course, against Atlanta, where he went 8, struck out 14, and he allowed 6 hits. But that is part of what has been so confusing about him. He has mixed in a couple of those performances where he went, okay, here he goes, and then he'll follow that up with 6 earned runs.
And some of his worst performances have been against teams that you think he would dominate. The Tampa Bay lineup that he's faced, and they banged him around pretty good. And quite frankly, this lineup today, this is a Sunday day game after a night game type of a lineup that the Yankees are throwing at you. This is a lineup that should be dominated.
The 1-2 to the #8 hitter. Of course, on opening day against Cleveland, he had the 10 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, 6 innings. It was a very good outing to get out of the gate, right after spring training. You'll take that any day of the week in a victory. But you're right. I mean, twice now against the Yankees, who have not been an offensive powerhouse. They've been incredibly disappointing offensively. He's allowed 6 earned runs in back-to-back performances. It is a puzzle.
And you never want to look too far down the line in a ball game, but we've mentioned it a couple times. If you get a lead against this Yankee team, they don't have Betances today. They don't have Andrew Miller today. They don't have guys that can put you away at the end of a ball game. Those are the numbers.
Here comes the 2-2. Oh, foul. The Red Sox still with time in this one to do something about the outcome. They're down 6-2, but Stephen Wright is on the mound tomorrow night. 3rd consecutive Sunday night performance for the Red Sox. He goes in 2-3 with a 1.67 ERA. Severino, the right-hander, has an ERA of 6.31. He'll be his opponent. Barnes trying to get Gregorius. That was a check swing, line drive, base hit into left center field. It looked like he got fooled on that, and he didn't mean to.
An excuse me base hit. Took kind of an ugly emergency hack on the last ball. He fouled off, and he was about ready to do the same thing, but he made good contact. Didn't even want to swing.
That's the 8th Yankee hit. Red Sox have 6. Now Romine, the #9 hitter, has an RBI double. That was off Price in the 3rd inning. He's also flied out to right field.
combination of brothers in the big leagues. Austin's brother Andrew is a catcher in the big leagues in the Detroit organization. It's not often you see two brothers. One's a catcher, one's a shortstop. That doesn't make sense. Their father, of course, Kevin Romine, was an outfielder with the Red Sox.
Up and in, and moves him out of there.
Little purpose pitch, brush him back, get him off the plate. Typically in baseball, the old adage, up and in, then down and away. It's been that way for over 100 years.
Barnes with a 1-0. And hits the outside edge at 96.
People ask me all the time, well, if everyone knows that that's what you're going to do, why does it keep working? Because when you go up and in like that pitch to Romine, it's kind of scary. Even if you think he's going to go down and away, what if he doubles up on you, comes in there again? You can't be leaning out over the plate thinking it's going to happen. You cannot commit to that.
And Barnes with a 1-1. Slap toward right field. That's going to drop down for a base hit and a broken bat single. Romine with his second hit. Gregorius into second base. Most of that bat landing on the infield grass near shortstop.
That's a good pitch too. That's exactly what Barnes was trying to do. He went in on him, then away, then went back in, broke his bat, getting in on his fists, and just a dump shot into right field.
So Gardner will be the batter. He's 0 for 3 in this one. That was all against David Price. And Matt Barnes, the former UConn star, trying to get him for a 4th time.
See Gregorius at second base talking with Bogarts. Gregorius from the Netherlands also speaks 4 languages, and so does Bogey. You wonder what language they're talking to each other in.
Must be nice to have a choice. Pitch down into the dirt for ball 1.
I would think you and I don't know about that.
I don't think so. Oui, monsieur.
Gregorius speaks Papiamento, English, Spanish, and Dutch.
The Kingdom of the Netherlands. The 1-0 pitch. We know only this is true, that Xander has been knighted. It's possibly true of Gregorius, but we know for sure that's the case with Xander.
Yep.
Two on and 1 out. 6-2 the Yankees here in the 6th inning. And Barnes with a 2-0 pitch. And a standout at UConn where he's a starting pitcher. He's Big East pitcher of the year. Went 11-5 as a junior with a 193 earned run average. Also pitched in the Cape Cod League in 2009. They make a lot of trips in the wintertime to UConn for basketball. That's down and away for ball 4. It's always a great visit. So the bases are now loaded. Hey, don't miss the Charity Classic benefit concert featuring Grammy Award-winning Lady Antebellum at the Dunkin' Donuts Center in Providence on June 28th. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com/CharityClassicFenway. Aaron Hicks now. He has a single. He's also flied to left and taken ball 4 and scored a run. And more trouble here for the Red Sox pitching staff. Single, a walk. And Willis is out of the dugout heading for the mound.
This mound visit will serve two purposes. One, to talk about Barnes as far as how he wants to go at the hitter, and The other to talk about your infield defense to decide what you want to do here. They play the corner infielders in. You can't really afford to let the Yankees score any more runs.
Tommy Ling getting going in the bullpen. They start to heat him up. Make sure you keep up with the Red Sox this season by following NESN on Instagram. Check out cool images from this road trip in Chicago and New York. Follow NESN today at Instagram.com/NESN. One out and no place for Hicks, who homered last night in the 7th inning, and that solo shot was the difference in the game. 3-2. The Yankees won it despite all the fireworks in the 9th. And trying to take the first 2 of this 3-game series after the Red Sox swept them last weekend in Boston.
There's the defense as we talked about. The corner infielders pinched in a little bit. About to make a decision. If the ball is hit to Shaw's left, he'll probably try to turn a double play. If it's right at him or to his right, he'll come home with it. Same thing with Hanley. Up the middle, they'll turn it conventionally.
The 0-1. A ball and a strike on Hicks. Gregorius at third, Romine at second, Gardner at first for the Yankees. Matt Barnes with a 1-1 pitch. Line drive hook to Betts, backing up, leaps and makes the catch. Here comes Gregorius after tagging up, and he will score. Romine advancing down to third. That makes it 7-2 Yankees on the sacrifice by Hicks. Mookie had to make a last-second adjustment on that one.
That ball took off on him a little bit. He didn't think it was hit quite this hard. No way he's going to be able to throw out anybody at home plate anyway, so he just makes sure he gets it back to the infield.
That's the second out, but a run scores on it. The Yankees have a 5-run lead for Starlin Castro, who'll step in next. He has singled and walked. He has scored twice. He has been a very, very tough out against the Red Sox in the first 4 games head-to-head this season. 0-1. That was 96.
Last weekend, the Red Sox sweep the Yankees. Go on a very successful road trip through the Chicago White Sox. They take 2 of 3 and come into Yankee Stadium feeling very, very good about themselves. Drop game 1 and are getting beat pretty handily in this one.
The 0-1 pitch to Castro. Fouled away. Losing last night's game 3-2. Very frustrating loss for the Red Sox. I think easily the most frustrating defeat of the season because of all the opportunities and the way it went down. With all the controversy in the 9th inning.
Still some time to climb back into this one, but it's been a clunker so far.
Oh, 2 on Castro, and here comes. Going first and back in. Brett Gardner getting tangled up a bit with Hanley.
I didn't see when the ball came out of Hanley's glove. Got it. Now they're tangled up. There he drops it.
A for effort for Hanley there, in case he came off the bag.
It was like a jungle gym he was crawling around on. Gardner reached out to grab the ball and give it to him, and then realized this is a live ball. I can't do that.
Yeah. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First and third, a run in for the Yankees. Barnes looking for the K, shakes off Vasquez, now picks one out. And a 1-2.
Woo.
Two and two with 2 out. Jackie Bradley Jr. will be the 3rd man up in the 7th inning. He's cracked a home run here today. And the 2-2 from Barnes. Fly ball center field. But Jackie has plenty of space there, and he'll make the catch to retire the side. The Yankees get another run. They lead it 7-2 in the 7th. Red Sox moment honoring the 1986 Red Sox season, their 30th game in '86. The Red Sox would win over the A's 6-5. Steve, you were in that game. You were 1 for 4 with a walk and RBI and scored twice. You flat got it done.
You know, I really appreciate the guys in the truck. I'm not even sure if half that stuff they put up there is true.
Half?
Who's checking it? You know, bottom line is, if it's not true, why don't you make me 3 for 4?
Right. So it is accurate. You actually did those things. Travis Shaw leading off the 7th inning. The Red Sox need a string of hits.
It's nice the celebration of that '86 team, and it's nice to kind of remember being a part of it a little bit. But you're right, back to this game, they do need a bunch of them.
Brock Holt on deck, and then Jackie Bradley, who ripped a home run in the 5th inning. I wanted to ask you too about that '86 team, and what was your fondest memory of an outstanding Red Sox team?
How good they were. That was a world championship team. I think everybody in baseball knew they were the best team in baseball that year. Didn't work out. We know how it worked out. But that was a team where if we actually lost a game, and I was there until about the end of June. I think we were like 7 games in first place when I got traded. It was a team that knew they were going to win every night.
Liner sliced into left, and Gardner will make the catch.
The attitude in that clubhouse always was, if we got beat, we were like surprised by it. Like, what happened? And then 4 seconds later, you'd say, someone's got to pay tomorrow. And you'd come out the next day, and it was just such a powerful, good team. Really good balance, excellent pitching, power. Like Rice and Baylor. They could crush the ball.
Was Jim Rice easily the best dressed member of that team.
It hasn't changed.
Brock Holt here. He's gone 1 for 2 with a single. And drove in a run in the second inning. The Red Sox have only scored once since then. The big inning for the Yankees was the 4th. They got 3. Pop to Gardner in left field as he backs up. 2 up, 2 down. Check out an all-new Red Sox report Tuesday at 5. Follow the career of future Red Sox Hall of Famer Jason Varitek, and don't miss this week's Red Sox report Tuesday night at 5 on NESN. The Baltimore Orioles are playing a doubleheader today because they were rained out yesterday, and their opponent is the Oakland A's, who only make 1 visit to Baltimore all season long, so they have to get it in. And Oakland has a 6-1 lead in the 8th inning in game 1. So that's good news for the Red Sox, who are at the moment tied with the Orioles for first place.
You know, one other note on that '86 team, that was also the year, you talk about how good they were, Clemens was MVP and Cy Young.
Yes, he was.
1986.
That had to have been difficult for you to leave that in the trade.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily looking to go anywhere.
Fouled away by Jackie. He's 1 for 2.
I thought at the time that I would get a better opportunity to establish my own career and play a little bit more with Chicago. That didn't really work out. I did play a little bit more there, but yeah, that was a tough team. You do not want to be traded away from a first place team, but the Red Sox wanted Tom Seaver. They got it done.
Tom Seaver, the great Hall of Famer, rose to fame right here in New York City as a New York Met. The amazing Mets. Great pitcher.
Oh,
one of the greatest right-handers to ever throw a baseball. 2-2 pitch
with a dirty knee.
That's right, and he was able to hold. That's what he used to do. Tom Seaver, when he didn't have great stuff, he told me that he'd come out of the bullpen because he was a drop and drive guy, and he always had a dirty knee when he was pitching well. He'd grab some dirt and he'd dirty up that right knee on purpose so the other team would see it and go, oh, we're done. We are done for the day.
He wanted to make sure that even though he didn't have his good stuff, they thought he did.
That's right. Swung on a missed strike 3. 1, 2, 3 they go. That's all for the Sox. Middle of the 7th, 7-2 Yankees. Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By buyatoyota.com, Toyota's website for deals. by the great folks at Sullivan Tire and Auto Service, and by the University of Massachusetts, here for a reason. 7-2, Yankees have the lead. Let's go down to Guerin.
Thanks, Obi. Well, this is the pink bat that Hanley Ramirez will use tomorrow for Mother's Day. Several players will use this pink bat, and the players will also wear pink wristbands and pink cleats in honor of Mother's Day and as part of Major League Baseball's initiative to raise awareness for breast cancer. And for the fans in Boston, Fenway Park will host the annual Mother's Day Walk in the Park, and moms will get free tours at Fenway Park. And Steve, you'll be there and they can meet you as well.
Yeah, I'll be there, signing some autographs, taking some pictures, showing up. It's a great event. Walk in the park for Mother's Day.
Well, Tommy Lane, the new Red Sox pitcher, he replaces Matt Barnes, who replaced David Price far too early for the Red Sox in the 5th inning, as Price was knocked out after 4 2/3. So Tommy making his 9th appearance of the year. Mother's Day has been pretty kind to the Red Sox in the past. The Mother's Day miracle, of course, against the Orioles.
Yeah.
One of the better games we've seen at Fenway as far as regular season games.
MLB does an amazing job celebrating Mother's Day and the awareness to breast cancer with all the pink, the bats, the shoes. Boy, they went over the top with the shoes this year, too. There's some pink uniforms getting ready for it.
Last of the 7th inning, Yankees on top 7-2. A flare here for Teixeira, but coming on Betts, and Mookie makes the grab. He is 1 for 4 on the day. Mark Teixeira. Well, did you know that Nesson has a brand new site for car enthusiasts? It's Nesson Fuel, your new home for everything automotive. Visit NessonFuel.com and follow Nesson Fuel on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram today. That brings up Beltran, who is 1 for 3 with a big hit. A 2-run double off Price in the 5th inning. And he pokes a foul.
And Dave strolling through the clubhouse over the last couple days, seeing all the new Mother's Day cleats that have been sent to the players. They are so colorful and so cool, but some guys are almost they're really gung-ho about wearing the pink on that day. But some of the shoes are so fantastic it doesn't fit some of the personalities. They're like, wow, this shoe is great, but I'm not sure if I could actually wear it in a game.
Give me an example of that as Beltran takes one inside. Like, who are you talking about?
Well, one was Matt Barnes. Some of his shoes were so cool. He loved them, but he said, I'm not sure. I feel like someone will think I'm trying to be too cool with these shoes on. That's not my style, but I love the shoe. I just don't think I can compete in it.
He didn't grow up wearing those in Danbury, Connecticut.
No. But I think everybody will see tomorrow when they watch the games around Major League Baseball what baseball and the manufacturers have done to really bring awareness, and they are bright. They've done some stuff with those shoes. It's not like, hey, just a pink little swoosh on your Nike cleats. They've got it going. Is she ready for a bell ball? Hit it right here. Right here.
That's adorable. She's serious, though. Yeah. Big swing and a miss, and down goes Beltran.
That's great.
That's ready. I love that guiding hand. Well, have a son or daughter who wants to learn more about baseball and the Red Sox? Visit NessonClubhouse.com. Fun, free, and easy to use. Visit NessonClubhouse.com today. Is that the reason you went with a pink tie today? Mother's Day coming?
You know, it just happened to be the one that I found at the bottom of my suitcase today, I think.
This was the clean one? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's a much better story if you say, absolutely, this is my salute to moms a little early.
Well, yeah.
Not it's the one I found at the bottom of the suitcase.
I have to work tomorrow, and I'm assuming that I will put a pink tie on tomorrow for Mother's Day, yes. It's a Mother's Day weekend.
Ackley here, he's flying to left, popped out to second, and walked and scored a run. And he looks at a strike from the lefty.
You know, we were talking about the shoes and the Mother's Day cleats and everything that's wearing. There's a kind of a groundswell of players that believe they should be able to show a little bit more personality with the cleats they wear. that the cleats shouldn't necessarily have to conform to team colors, that you have to wear a complete uniform just like everyone else, and to show your own personality and own style, you should be able to wear any cleat you want. Red Sox obviously wear black shoes accented in their red or blue.
So this is the groundswell you're talking about from the Bryce Harper "Let's Make Baseball Fun Again."
Yes, and I think David Price is on that page as well. Some guys just want their own ability to express their personality, maybe in the shoes they wear.
And of course, Harper's talking a lot about, as far as that expression, you know, hitting a home run, a crack bat roller. Nice play by Lane, low throw, dug out. Oh, Hanley made another good play over there at first base. And 1, 2, 3 they go. Fine job by Lane. He gets them in order. We go to the 8th inning. Yankees in front 7-2 here in the Bronx. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, and nothing to hide. Top of the 8th, 7-2 Yankees in the middle game of the series. Steve Lyons, Dave O'Brien, Garrett Austin. And the Sox facing an uphill climb, especially the way Eovaldi has been pitching. He's tossing a 6-hitter.
Been ahead all day long. Just like that.
He has touched 100 miles an hour on a handful of occasions. Vasquez is grounded out twice, once to second, once to third. And he knocks that one foul. He's quickly in the hole. Now the youngster Ben Gamble made his major league debut last night, entering the game defensively in the 8th inning. He's doing it again.
And promptly had the very first ball of the game hit right to him.
Wouldn't you know it? It's going to find you.
It's a rule. It's a rule in the game. If you come in as a defensive replacement or just find your way into a game, first ball will always be hit to you.
He was playing at AAA. He's got big league glasses though.
Oh yeah, he's in the big leagues now. Loading up on stuff.
Here comes the 1-2 to Christian Vasquez, and he spoils that one. Is that one of the most striking things when you're promoted to the big leagues for the first time, that you can get anything you want and as much of it as you want, you know, in terms of sunglasses and cleats and everything else?
Well, it's changed a little bit since the days when I played, but yes, these days, boy, they just load you up with anything you need, and there's some irony there when you think about it.
Swinging bunt rolled up the third base line. Fair ball. The throw's going to get it. Nice play by Romine to set down a fellow catcher.
Because once you get to the big leagues and you can afford to buy the stuff, then they give it all to free. It's all free. You're in the minor leagues, you're scuffling around. You don't have that much money. You got to buy everything. Someone asked me what the best thing about being in the big leagues was when I got there first. I said you can use 2 towels to dry off with after a shower.
Well, you're easy to please.
In the minor leagues, 1 towel, and it was like one of those little Gatorade towels. You know, I was like, how do you dry off with this thing?
Mookie Betts is 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. He's also flying out to left. And a routine play for Castro at second base. That's a huge upset, by the way, that you would say it's towels, because for sure, and everybody in our crew would agree with this, we thought you were going to say the best thing about being in the big leagues is meal money.
The spread, yeah, my meal money went from like $12 a day to $62 or something like that.
You used every bit of it.
And more. Well, that's breakfast in LA is $80. I mean, New York, I mean.
Dustin Pedroia 0 for 3. Hit into a double play, grounded to third and struck out. Yankees ahead 7-2 in the 8th inning. Showed you the Yankees have double barrel bullpen activity, but these guys pitch very well. Pitching line brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. He hasn't walked anybody. He did hit a batter. It was Hanley Ramirez who came in to score in the second, but he has made very few mistakes.
Certainly has the ability to pitch the way he has today. He's just been a little erratic in his career.
The start that he's had today is the start we kind of expected to see from David Price.
Yeah. Got it from the wrong guy.
The 1-2. Swung on and missed. He gets Pedroia on strikes for the second time. And he puts the Sox away 1-2-3 for the second consecutive inning. NESN Plus, you can catch the Women's Ivy League Lacrosse Championship. Cornell and Penn square off in Philadelphia for the conference title. All the action live tomorrow morning at 11, only on NESN Plus. Sean O'Sullivan, the right-hander, just promoted from the minor leagues from the Paw Sox, about to make his Red Sox debut. He has pitched in the big leagues with the Angels, Kansas City, San Diego, and the Philadelphia Phillies. He's 28 years old and delivers a strike on Headley.
Good sinking fastball right there at 90 miles an hour.
And a cut and a miss. Shot born in San Diego. He's 6'1", about 245. Red Sox signed him as a minor league free agent back in December. And his brother Ryan was drafted by the Dodgers several years ago. He plays in the Phillies system. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Headley, who is 1 for 3 with a single. And the righty's pitch. Slap toward right field coming on. It'll drop in for a base hit though in front of Mookie Betts. Let's get on to Garen.
Thanks, OB. Well, yesterday when Sean O'Sullivan was called up, I caught up with him and he said he was very excited to finally put on a Red Sox uniform. He told me that's what's been different for him this year is that he's pitching to his strengths and not the hitter's weaknesses. And he said that's made a big difference in terms of how he's sequencing his pitches and the conviction and confidence he feels in each pitch. Guys, he said every other time he was called up before this, he'd fall into the trap of pitching to the hitter's weaknesses.
All right, Garen, thank you very much. Well, we'll see what the future holds for him with the Red Sox. That's some talk he could work his way into that rotation, at least temporarily. Fly well hit to center. Bradley backs up though and shy of the track. Jackie will make the catch to set down Gregorius.
That is a mindset you can get into too, because you have those meetings and they'll say, all right, this guy really struggles on breaking balls away, and you start thinking, well, maybe I should start throwing and breaking balls away, when I'm thinking, well, my best pitch is like a cutter or something else. You start pitching to the other guy's weakness rather than to your strengths.
1 man away for Romine. The catcher is doubled. He's also singled. So he's had a very good day as the backup catcher to McCann. Fouled away for a strike. Back to McCann. I thought it was really interesting how Ron Kulpa, last night's home plate umpire, on the 3-1 pitch that McCann kind of mishandled a little bit, but it was a called strike. Ron Kulpa in his post-game comments kind of took a shot at McCann.
Well, we know how good catchers and guys like Vasquez can steal pitches for you with their good presentation. Well, they can also make a pitch look really bad if you box one like he did. What I thought was interesting is McCann said, I was the one that crossed myself up. I called a slider and was looking for a fastball. He almost didn't even get a glove on it.
Yeah, Kulpa said he didn't help me.
No, he didn't. It did not look good. And you know, I think you and I both agree it was a nasty pitch, but we think it was a nasty strike. And then McCann made it look bad.
It was a borderline pitch.
Yeah. I mean, this is a nasty pitch on the outer half, and then McCann just, that's terrible. And you can see it looks like a strike with the box right there.
Well, David Ortiz didn't think so. High fly, well struck to left. Brock Holt turning around on it. That ball sails up against the fence. Headley heading into third. They're going to wave him in. Xander throwing home and into the runner. It strikes the runner, and the run scores to make it 8-2. Romine's had a huge day today. Drives in Headley. That's his third hit. And it almost got out of the ballpark.
Romine comes into this day hitting .263. Not too bad for a guy that doesn't get to play very often. That ball just cutting away from him, but he just reached out and hammered it to left field. Drives in another run. This ball is going to hit Headley. Ooh, right on the hand or the wrist. Get a better view of it there. You see Vasquez trying to get a better angle on the ball. Never got to him.
Headley knew it was coming. He gets drilled, but he scores the run. 8-2. And here's Gardner. A breaking ball in there for a strike. 8 runs, 11 hits now for the Yankees. Gratefully, the Red Sox have not played many like this. Games that have gotten away.
Yeah. And we talked about it at the outset of this show. Last night's game was a frustrating, ugly loss. This is just a bad baseball game as far as the Red Sox are concerned.
That is what happens when you don't get good starting pitching, and you expected it today with David Price, who was 4-0 coming in, but he lasted only 4 2/3, gave up 6 earned runs. Second time has been beaten up by the Yankees. I think one of the troubling aspects is it's not what you would call an A-list Yankee lineup. There's no A-Rod in there. So McCann's not in there.
Great opportunity to come in here and kick this Yankee team while they were down. They're in last place.
One man out here in the bottom of the 8th and a run in for the Yankees. They have a man at second base in Romine. Ground ball toward third, up with it Shaw, and gets him. You wonder if Travis Shaw might be looking at a day off tomorrow.
That could be a good idea. Some of his at-bats today have looked a little sluggish.
Our game summary brought to you by Xfinity. Short outing for Price. Jackie Bradley has a home run, so he's hit it 13 straight. Evaldi terrific today for the Yankees. He allows only 6 hits in 8 innings. Gregorius had a big 3-run double, they called it.
You go back to the lineup you're talking about that the Red Sox faced today without Ellsbury in it, without McCann in it. Hicks hits a .114. Teixeira's hitting .215. Ackley's a .125 hitter. Headley a .151 hitter. And that guy was the difference right there, Nathan Evaldi.
Well, this holds up. Price would lose for the first time this season. He would drop to 4-1, and Evaldi would improve to 2-2. Red Sox do have Mr. Wright on the mound tomorrow on Sunday Night Baseball. He has done everything asked of him and more. And at this point, it looks like he's going to be pitching to end a mini losing skid for the Red Sox. Talking hitting there with Chile.
It's interesting. Your starting pitcher for tomorrow talking to your hitting coach. And I bet Chile has a great answer for you. How do you think I should go at him? Throw your knuckleball.
Closer look at the pitching matchup. Brought to you by FW Web. Selection, expertise, solutions. More at fwweb.com. Chile is a great guy to pick his brain. With the career he had. Down into the dirt.
Chile, former Yankee as well.
Mentioned this the other day. 2,400 hits, 350 home runs. Pretty darn good career.
I heard Chile was actually happy that you gave him an extra 1,000 hits.
Gave him an extra 1,000 the other day. I said 3,400, and he came up and said, "Thank you very much."
Who did I get those off of?
The 2-2, just inside. 8-2 Yankees. Red Sox will be coming on Monday against the Oakland A's, who at the moment are beating up on the Orioles 8-1 in the 9th inning. First of a doubleheader. A's in town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all of those night games, and then the Houston Astros pay a visit. Waved at and missed. He was way out in front for strike 3. The Yankees add another run and now lead at 8-2 as we go to the 9th. It's an all-new show just for kids who love hockey. Don't miss an all-new episode tomorrow at 12:30. And to catch up on previous episodes, visit bostonbruins.com/Bruins Academy. The attendance today, 47,822 at Yankee Stadium. That is their second sellout of the season. It'll bring on Nick Goody for his third appearance. So the day is done for Eovaldi. He pitched extraordinarily well. 8 innings, no walks, 2 runs, 6 hits, and he struck out 6.
Did have over 100 pitches, but there's no such thing as complete games anymore, is there?
He's never had one in 112 career starts.
Unbelievable. That's because they don't give you a chance to do it.
Xander Bogaerts to lead off the 9th here. Red Sox are down by 6 runs. Bogaerts has grounded a short twice, and he's singled. David Ortiz on deck, and then Hanley Ramirez here in the 9th. And a 1-0 from Goody. That'll be a strike at 90.
His last appearance against the Red Sox, he gave up 4 hits. Also struck out the side.
The 1-1 to Xander, started the day hitting .313. Is cut on and missed. And a quiet day for David after a noisy night last night. 0 for 3. But getting another chance in the 9th inning. His next home run breaks the tie with Carl Yastrzemski for number 2 on the Sox home run list. Waved at and missed. Xander Bogaerts strikes out. 1 man away. The last 9 Red Sox have been retired in order, and here's Big Papi. Quite obviously, the Yankees are not ready just yet to honor David Ortiz, which will not happen until much later in the season here at Yankee Stadium.
And I don't think it would be any fun for David if they didn't boo him here.
He knocks that one foul for strike 1.
Totally expects it and loves it.
The last Red Sox visit here, at least for the regular season, will be the 27th, 28th, and 29th of September.
Nice.
The 0-1 pitch. High fly ball into center field, but a lazy fly this time, and Hicks will come in on it. And there are 2 down for the Red Sox in the 9th.
I will be interested in seeing what this organization does for David, considering the send-off the Red Sox gave Derek Jeter.
You were impressed?
Overly impressed, actually. I mean, it was pretty amazing. All the icons of every sport showed up.
Hanley Ramirez now has been hit by a pitch, singled and grounded out. Hanley has now hit safely in 11 consecutive games. That is his longest as a member of the Red Sox. Last night the Red Sox had a lot of trouble scoring runs, just 2, and just 2 today. One ball and 1 strike. Series finishing up tomorrow night on Sunday Night Baseball. And again, 3 consecutive Sundays. But the Red Sox are playing that game, the Sunday night game, and then having to travel. 1-1 pitches up high.
Even when they don't play the Sunday night game. The last game in Chicago, the late travel after that game, landing in New York Friday morning at about 5 in the morning.
The Sox will have about 4 overnighters already. Talking about early May.
Yeah, a lot of people kind of agree with the fact that a lot of times it's not that day that hurts you, it's the next day, which is today, is where you really feel the lethargic and tired.
Feels like it today.
Yeah.
2-2 on Hanley. Shaking that hand.
But I can tell you, you brought your A game, as usual.
Hanley is shaking that hand a little bit. Seems to be all right.
Just a big swing right here. You can see the wrist break there.
Two-two. And he knocks that one foul out of play, so he hangs in.
He's looking at that left wrist again, but I think maybe just knocked his guard off his elbow, redoing the batting gloves.
Here's a look. A couple of pitches ago.
He wanted that hanging breaking ball on the last pitch too. He was upset about missing that one.
The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and this one is over. The Yankees have won the first 2 games of the series. They win this one going away 8-2. Eovaldi goes 8 strong innings. David Price knocked out in the 5th inning. And TC, the Red Sox kind of sleeping through this one today. 8-2 the final score.